Hello and welcome YouTube. Welcome to my channel. It's Mr.BuyTheDip back here with another video. We talk about NVIDIA once again. All right, it's gonna be a couple uploads this week specifically for NVIDIA. I have a lot of things to discuss about the app I'm using, about how useful this could be, but also about some statistics about NVIDIA. Okay, why is this a big week? You're probably wondering, why is this week so important? Blah 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 blah. Well, when we narrow things down, okay, 2024 is about to end. First things first, 2024 is coming to a close. You guys can see it's November 16, 2024 as I'm recording this video. Okay, so usually, you know, the stocks went up on a bullish run because of the elections. Crypto went crazy, whatever. Okay, NVIDIA happens to close kind of at 141. Okay, it's kind of pulling down. So what should we consider and what should we imply? Well, for everybody who got in around 130, 120, you're safe. Okay, I would say you're safe. Now, for the people who bought probably around 144 and just hopped on the wave, I think you're in the right hands too, because this earnings report really depends on what the future holds for NVIDIA, or what it can do in the coming few months. I mean, so what is an earnings report? If you're wondering what an earnings report is, that's fine. I didn't know what the heck it was either. Okay, I had to do some research like 2 or 3 months prior, and I realized the importance of earnings report and why do analysts up in Wall Street, you know, they sit on their little desk and they're waiting for the earning reports to come out because they make some analysis based on those things. Okay, so an earnings report is basically a financial statement issued by a company. For example, NVIDIA is doing it on the 20th. Okay, now this statement is going to provide a financial performance of the stock. All right, it will include important data like revenue, okay, net income, and earnings per share. Okay, so earnings per share is also known as EPS. That's a short form. Okay, now why is that important? Now just think about those logically. Okay, the stock has been doing pretty decent. It's been, it bumped up from like 120 all the way up to 149 point something, set at 52-week high, blah 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 blah. But it's nothing crazy like it was last year. Okay, last year NVIDIA, from December all the way to like May, it went wild. Okay, I said the stock that went wild this year towards the end was probably Tesla and Palantir. Okay, Palantir is still kind of going. Okay, NVIDIA hasn't went wild yet. Okay, so we have to be patient for that. Okay, now an app that I use to understand statistics and look at earnings report and stuff like that is TradingView. Okay, if you see at the top, I have underlined annual and quarterly in yellow, and then I circled next earnings report in red. Now this is so useful because it just shows you other things as well, other financial things as well. The market cap. Okay, the higher the market cap, the higher the potential of the stock is. 3.48 trillion USD. That is crazy. That is a big market cap. Okay, what does that tell you? First thing you have to take is a lot of expectations are here for NVIDIA. The future is bright for NVIDIA. If this is your long term, there is no need to panic. Neither would I. I mean, I'm averaging down. What I'm doing is I'm using an average down strategy now, because I got back in around 147. Okay, but I'm gonna average down even if they drop, and invest $200, $300, $400 and use my average down in a way to make some more profit. Okay, but the main thing I wanted to talk about is the red box. Okay, that shows the earning report that will come out this Wednesday. I circled it because you can literally make it a reminder in your calendar. Okay, so there's no excuses for, oh my god, I forgot, I didn't know they had an earnings report, blah 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 blah. Well, you could have made a reminder. It's gonna pop up on your phone. As you guys can see, I set a reminder up for that specific reason. Okay, it says edit because I set a reminder. It says next earning report in 4 days. All right, now and the yellow box refers to quarterly or annually. What does that mean? Quarterly basically refers to a period of 3 or 1/4 of a full year. So let's say June all the way to August. Those are 3 months. Okay, it's gonna look at the earnings report from 3 months and compare it to previous years. Annually is a full 12-month period. So annually is a full year. So if you look at annually, it's a full year, and you can compare it from last year up to now. And if you compare it from 2022, the stock it's a steady increase. So who knows what 2025 holds? In my opinion, the stock is going to keep going up. It's going to probably have a few bumps in the road, right? But what do we do as stockholders, as investors, when we see those big dips? Okay, we buy and buy and buy. The reason I say that, because I've seen what the potential of the stock is, and I've seen a lot of people hold the stock for a few months, make profit, and get out, get back in. And I've seen people use different strategies with NVIDIA. Okay, it is not crazy to swing trade NVIDIA. It is not crazy to have NVIDIA as a short-term investment either. That's why I like NVIDIA, because it has so much variety. Okay, you can swing trade this. If you see the stock is back at 132, buy it, wait a few days, goes back up to 142, you can sell it, right? You can do so many things with the stock that I always have this in my radar, okay? Now, why TradingView? Why do I choose TradingView? Well, it's easier to navigate. You can also set reminders and candlestick graphs. One of the main reasons, why I prefer candlestick graphs, because of how useful they are. If you look at the little crosses, by the way, the red cross and like the little line on these graphs. So for example, these right here, okay, these right here, you have to look out for those. That's called and when you look at a candle graph like this, that's called tension. So what that basically means is it's a fight between demanders and suppliers. So for example, I'm talking about this right here. So you look at all the greens, right? They're just going up increasingly, but you see tension as soon as you see a cross like this right here towards the middle. That cross, it's tension, and that causes the stock to either go up or come down. A lot of people use that a way to sell and get their profits. For example, if you bought all the way down, let's say around 132. So you buy like down here at this mark, at this tension, okay? And you want to sell, but you don't know when to sell. You just keep following the graph, and you come to a point where you see you were all the way down here. You got in at 124, 126, and you see this tension right here. This can mean two things. Sometimes you see this go all the way up and strike up, okay? Sometimes what happens is from this cross, it's going to strike up and go up to 145, 144, and keep going up. But what can happen sometimes is it can cause it to come down. And that's what happened in previous months. It came all the way down, but it finds a way to come back up. Okay, that's why I feel like TradingView is so much more useful than Cash App. These candlestick graphs, these patterns are so useful, and a lot of time people don't realize that Cash App is good, right? But you have to shift your way towards over somewhere where you can use candlestick graphics, and then you can kind of figure out patterns like a W pattern, okay, also known as a double bottom, or you can research patterns and kind of implement that into the graphs that you're watching. But you can't do that when you don't have candlestick graphs. A lot of traders, a lot of professional day traders, or people who do this for a living, use candlestick graphs for the same reason, okay? You guys can see, like, even just looking at this graph, you can kind of see a W formed right here. Just pay close attention to this graph and look at it. You can kind of see a W form. Okay, so what does that tell you? That tells you when you see this incline, if you guys see this incline ever again, you have to buy all the way at the bottom and hope for it to go back up. But when it goes back up, you can sell your profits towards the middle and then buy all the way when it comes down. Okay, these are patterns that you don't usually kind of see on Cash App as well, because they don't have candlestick patterns. So that's why that's one of the main reasons why I switched over to TradingView. W patterns exist. Double bottom that's what it's called. A double top, two mountain peaks. Okay, if you see kind of two mountain peaks, you can expect the stock to either go down or go back up after a little bit. Okay, so what if the earning report is good? Honestly, people usually take the big three in consideration. If the big three is good after a good earnings report, you have to think about this logically, guys. If an earning report is good, that means the company is doing well financially. So that means they have more profit to throw into the company and keep growing. Okay, the stock is going to keep doing well. As we can see, they have always find a way to bounce back, and people if you look at all the way at the bottom, it shows the daily volume of buyers and sellers. Okay, so people have always found a way to just buy the stock and pump it back up, and that's going to happen more if the earnings report is good. Okay, so stock prices increase. That's one of the positives that can happen. Okay, it's a bright future for the stock. People take that in consideration. People who don't have NVIDIA as a long term, if this Wednesday the earnings report is good, a lot of YouTubers, a lot of influencers are gonna do what? They're gonna make more videos, right? I'm gonna be probably one of them making that video and telling you can still get in. I'm gonna be knocking on your door. You can still get in NVIDIA. It's not late, right? Because you can always average down. That's the thing about long-term stocks. You can always average down. Write this down in your notes, please. You can always average down. Now, what does averaging down means? Okay. Averaging down is a strategy used in investing to lower your position in the company. Okay, if you want to lower your position in the company, buy the stock when it goes lower. You might be at a loss. Okay, so if you bought NVIDIA around 145, 144, you might be at a loss, right? Because we're down right now. But if it keeps tanking lower, you buy $200, $400 more worth of shares when it goes down. So what that's going to do is going to bring your official position lower, and you're gonna hold potentially more shares for a cheaper amount of money. Okay, you can always average down. You guys can look this up on YouTube. You can look this up on any other platform. I'll make a whole nother video about averaging down and how I'm going to use this with NVIDIA. Okay, averaging down is something you can always implement in your long-term investments. I wouldn't recommend doing that for a smaller investment because that could be more riskier, right? But if you know something has potential in the future, average down. All right, if you got in too high with NVIDIA, that's all right. When it goes lower, just buy more shares. Okay, but what I will do is wait for that 125, wait for the 120, put down 1,000, 2,000, and watch it grow in the past in the coming years or so. Okay, new higher targets to hit. That's something we have to adjust. Okay, if NVIDIA does well on Wednesday, okay, fingers crossed, earnings report is good, people are talking about it more, you have to make new targets now. Okay, instead of 160, go to 200. Okay, I want to hit 200. Okay, and when you make new targets, what does that mean? That means you have to be more around the stock. So you have to be doing more research every day. You have to be keeping track of your stock every day. Because what does that mean? You're holding on to the stock longer. That's what it potentially can mean. Because 200 is going to come, guys, but it's not going to come fast. Okay, it may come like the next month or so, or 2 months, 3 months, right? But you have to be patient. So that's going to take some patience. If you got the patience for NVIDIA, you can switch your targets around a little bit after this earnings report. Okay, instead of selling at 180, you want to sell at 220 now. That's fine. That sounds great. But it's going to take some work. You got to sit down every day and look at your stock. Write down what it's closing on. Okay, so that's one of the main things that I would consider doing is if the earnings report go well, sit down, look at your stock, just make some new targets, new prices you want to hit. Okay, and then keep in mind your personal targets are different from others. So just because somebody is saying they want to sell at 160, okay, maybe they got in around $105. That's why they want to sell at 160. But if you got in around $140, okay, and you're saying I want to sell at 160, you're not really maximizing your profit. So keep that in mind. Keep a few things in your mind. A lot of influencers, YouTubers, or pro traders or investors, they know how the game goes. Okay, stocks always come back down. Okay, they are not going to stay up forever. Tesla's not going to stay up at 320 forever. Okay, who knows what's going to happen middle of summer 2025? Nobody knows, right? So what you have to always do is just keep your goals realistic and adjust them as you go. Okay, my personal goal is 200 regardless. I want to hold all 2025. Now, I'm saying this to you guys because I believe NVIDIA has potential and it's going to increase drastically in the next few months. Okay, it happened last year. Okay, do not miss the train, because if you miss the ride, you are not coming back and nobody's coming back to pick you up. we are gone if we hit 200 or we get to that 160, 170 mark, because then it gets way too risky to invest at 150, 160, right? Even if you got in at 140 lows, you can get away with that because you can average down to $135, right? And that's a decent buy then at that point. Okay, keep that in mind, guys. Watch out for the earnings report, okay? And that's all I got for you guys. Like and subscribe. Give me any feedback in the comment, positive or negative. You know, I'm always willing to improve my videos or talk to you guys about other things as well. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe.